Hello.
Hello everyone, this is Melissa and Ian with Havencraft, and this is part of our ongoing series that we're calling Ask a Witch.
And hey, we remembered to actually split the video this time.
Yay! So what is our question?
How do Appalachian granny witches deal with warts? This one is pretty much an entirely you question.
Okay,
I'll
so I
throw in
actually
if I have anything.
like 20 pages of notes on wart cures. Because it is such a massive thing in the Ozarks through the Appalachian Mountains.
So let's start with why is it such a big deal?
So these are people who are, I hate the term blue-collar workers.
Well, and it's not quite accurate, but they're on their feet, they're using their bodies, they're working with their hands.
And we don't think of it where we have easy access to CVS and Walgreens and Quick Cares and stuff. But
people
warts,
with manual labor jobs?
yeah, people with manual labor jobs. Warts are actually debilitatingly painful. They spread easily. And they can actually start eating into muscle tissue and interfering with the nerves. And in particular, if you live in a damp environment, which all through the Appalachian Mountains is super damp, then warts can be debilitatingly,
They can cause serious problems if you don't address them quickly.
and it spreads, if you can't walk appropriately because you have warts eating at the bottom of your foot, then that's going to cause knee pain, going to cause hip pain, going to cause back pain. It starts with the feet, y'all. Everything.
It varies person to person and what strain of it you've got. I've seen people that have had them so badly that it takes over the entire backs of their hands.
Yep.
Yeah.
It can be really bad. I saw some pretty wicked, awful cases.
Having warts is also associated with
So it's associated in the Appalachian Mountains with uncouth, cowardly behavior. It is associated with being in the society, a person others would not want to associate with. It's a mark against you. Now, part of that is because if you touch someone with warts, you can get them yourself. But it is also associated with being slovenly or cowardly or
deservedly or not.
a blight. You yourself, for having the blight, are seen as being one. Yeah, and I personally think kind of undeservedly.
Yeah.
But it's part of the cultural ideas around it. In particular, in the areas I spent the most time in, all of the cures involved some amount of praying, often right out of the Bible. They would open the Bible, and while they were doing the cunning work or the medicine work, they would also use reading the Bible as a medicinal cure for the warts themselves. Heal the spirit in order to heal the body. A reminding that cunning work and Christianity are just really tangled together. I mean, these are people who believe that the reason why Jesus was sealed in the tomb for 3 days in the Hollow Hill was because he was with the fairies. So, and the fairies had Jesus for 3 days, and Jesus was in the Appalachian Mountains with the fairies in the Hollow Hills. That's part of the cultural beliefs in these areas. Big fairy believers, and the fairies and Christ are all tangled together. In particular, how to cure warts involves some combination of the saying of words, the laying on of hands, and medicine. The saying of words could be the Bible. If you get into certain deep regions, then it may not be the Bible. It may be pleading for intercession from the figure at the crossroads, or the wild itself, or the saying of words may be sending the warts back to where they came from, because the belief is that sometimes someone sent them against you. Someone marked you. They're a mark that someone is after you. It may be sending them to the grave, killing the warts. In some of the medicine traditions, warts are seen as literally another life form that is symbiotically growing on yours. It is. And basically, you send it on to death and keep the person alive. In which case, you may see intercessions with mushrooms, which are the fingers of death. It's a thing. It's the mushrooms are seen as an extension of the death realm, or you may see a calling on of the Queen of Bones or the Grim Dog. Now, in particular, the dog is only very specific regions.
I was going to say that's a really specific.
Yeah. In which
But-
case, you can cure warts in that region by having a black dog bark at them, and that's the words, is the bark of a black dog.
The laying on of hands.
The laying on of hands. Now, there's a bit of a trick to this. There's two things. One, if you went to a medicine worker and they laid their hands on you, then the blight is stripped off. They were willing to touch you, so now everybody else should be willing to touch you too. And even if you're still struggling with them, if you can say like, well, I went to the worker and she laid her hands on me, then everyone else is like, oh, all right, well, I guess you're getting that taken care of. You're no longer a social pariah. In particular, there's also a bit of sneakiness there, because the laying on of hands may also involve rags that have certain tinctures and ointments and things on them that would actually cure the warts. And that's in cases where, so there is a kind of medicine work where the fact that there is some kind of literal medicine is kind of kept on the down low. Like, the whole point is for the person to believe it was cured via faith and magic alone, and they don't really tell them that they're using anything herbal. And in fact, there's these huge rituals they may have to do so that they feel like they have the power over it psychologically rather than the cunning person. And that may involve moonlight or iron or trees or sap or
Dead toads.
or dead toads. That's not a dead toad ritual.
I know. but-
Yeah, that one's not a dead toad ritual.
No, I'm
In
just
fact,
giving you all the time.
that would be a not a dead toad ritual, because one of the reasons why you don't handle toads is because then you get warts.
Warts.
But the
Thunderstorms, though.
right, definitely thunderstorms, the washing away.
Yeah.
And the fact that the medicine worker is putting literal medicine on you may not be something you are ever told, so that you believe it was cured via faith alone. And psychologically, it works like the placebo effect. Warts, they actually have linked the spread of warts towards like psychological torment. Anxiety causes them to spread more. So
Like anything that stresses your immune system, it's if I remember correctly, it's actually a herpes virus.
it is.
So like anything that stresses your immune system, including anxiety and depression, is going to cause breakdowns.
Right. So, and then your medicine may be to address the thing that causes anxiety, the thing that causes depression. And it may also be, white willow bark and horehound and other materials that
Right.
kill off viruses, which may be, some combination of tree hemlock and similar.
Tea tree oil,
Right.
Right.
It's one of the things that people don't realize about traditional witchcraft aids is that they tend to be things that are like antimicrobial, antiviral,
Golden seal.
right, golden seal, goldenrod, echinacea, elderflower. It's almost like the things that keep you spiritually well also keep you physically well, and that there may not really be that much of a separation between the mind, the body, and the spirit when it comes to overall wellness.
That actually will get us to our next question, unless there's something more you'd like to say.
No,
here.
that's basically it. If y'all want my notes, my 10 pages of notes on random wart cures, make sure that I get your email address and I'll send them to you. Right?